Hey, what's up, guys? Matt here with OddsJam, and I'm going to give you the best DFS picks for tonight. Baseball, basketball, football, all of the sports, giving you all of the best DFS picks. So this is specifically looking at PrizePicks, looking at Underdog, looking at Thrive, all of the DFS platforms, finding good player prop selections to add to your entry. So the first place you want to get started when you're looking to play some DFS plays is the OddsJam positive expected value page. So DFS platforms, I'm assuming you guys understand the way it works, but if you don't, basically all you're doing is you're choosing a player prop and you're choosing a higher or lower, a more or less on whatever that player prop stat is. So Joe Burrow passing yards, you're going to go on PrizePicks, Underdog, Thrive, you're going to choose higher or lower. You parlay those picks together, you add multiple selections into an entry, and if all of your selections win, then you win all the profit. If one of them loses, then you lose all of your risk. That's kind of how the PrizePicks works. And then, of course, similar to a regular parlay in sports betting, the more plays you add to a selection, the higher the payout is. So if you add 2, you double your payout. If you add 5, you 20x your risk, or I should say you double your risk for 2. So if you 2 selections, you double your risk. For 5, you literally 20x it. So because each different number of selections has a different payout, that means that you can back out the implied odds for each of the different legs depending on how many selections you add. So for a 2-leg one, the implied payout for that is roughly 137 on both PrizePicks and Underdog. If you go to like 5 different selections, the PrizePicks odds go to -119, the Underdog goes to -122. So knowing that information, what you can actually do is find player props that have implied odds tracked by all the sports books more favorable than those odds of -119 or -122 or whatever, and you can add those, and those would be good plays to add to your PrizePicks entry, be good selections to add to your entry. So, for example, the first one here that we're looking at is this Yordan Alvarez under 1.5 player bases. Obviously, he's an incredible hitter for the Astros, but he hasn't had a great World Series so far. Granted, it's only been 2 games, but regardless, this seems like a pretty good play, but let's look into it. So the no-vig odds that OddsJam calculates has this priced a true line of about -120. So this would be a good play specifically for a 5 selection entry on PrizePicks, because the no-vig odds are more favorable than -119, but not more favorable than the other lines like -137 or -122. So you can use these no-vig odds as kind of a way to determine how many selections you would need to add in order for it to be a profitable play. But here's one that you should put in your PrizePicks entry: Yordan Alvarez under 1.5 player bases. Another thing that I like to do is just, if you click into a play like this, it pulls up where every sportsbook is pricing odds for that same play. And the reason why this is such a good play is that, look where all the other sportsbooks, like the actual sportsbooks that have different odds for every player prop, look where they all price it: -143, -141, -127. So this is the only one that has it roughly around the same implied odds as the DFS books: -145, -140, -139, -145. It's insane, the gap between all of the sports books, what they price it, and then the implied odds you can get by using a DFS platform like PrizePicks. All of these sports books are saying they think that the under is heavily, heavily favored, but the implied odds of PrizePicks only have it at -119. So here's one play to add to a PrizePicks specifically. Here's one to add specifically to Underdog, although it looks like they changed those odds, so never mind. Let me give this a refresh, make sure I'm working with the most up-to-date odds. So here's one: DeJounte Murray under 20.5 points. So here's another one specifically for PrizePicks. Implied odds of -119. And just look at the other books: -146, -150, -140, -142. Excuse me. Same thing here. Pretty awesome play: DeJounte Murray under 20.5 points, specifically on PrizePicks. The next one: Pascal Siakam under 9.5 rebounds. This is another play specifically for PrizePicks. Same logic here: -119 at PrizePicks, minus 167 at Pinnacle, minus 150 at PointsBet. Pascal Siakam under 9.5 rebounds. And then another PrizePicks one. So this is the fourth specifically for PrizePicks. This is actually an NHL one. Player shots on goal. David Perrin under 2.5. So basically he'll have under 3 shots on goal. He'll have less than 3. Minus 120 is what the Novig line, the true line that OddsJam calculates, is giving you. And again, same thing here. Minus 145 on Pinnacle, minus 139 at BetOnline, minus 139 at Caesars. All of these books think that this under is a heavily likely, the most likely scenario. But because you're using a DFS platform that has the same implied odds across the board, you're getting a really good play on this one. So that's how you can use the positive EV page to find plays. You can also use the OddsJam screen to find plays as well. And the OddsJam screen is really cool when you want to look at a bunch of different plays on one screen and you don't want to have to do a bunch of scrolling. So the way it works is you could just select a market. You can select a sport, select a market, and it pulls up where every sportsbook is pricing this market for every single game. So for a game like tonight where there's 2 teams playing, you don't have to look at each individual team. Or even better, if you go to like the NBA, it pulls up the stats for like a full NBA slate. It's just data overload. And what you're trying to do in this situation is find examples where the DFS platforms have a mispriced line. Like there's one right here, Mike Thomas. His receiving yards prop, PrizePicks in Underdog. Price this at 25.5. They both do. But look at where all the other major sports books price it. 22.5, 23.5, 24.5. No book has this priced at 25.5. So this is way too high. So here's a good play to add both on PrizePicks and Underdog. Mike Thomas under 25.5 receiving yards. There's also a good one on Hayden Hurst, 38.5. Pinnacle prices this at 37.5, and they favor the under. So they think the under 37.5 is more likely. And this is for PrizePicks specifically. They give it to you 1 yard higher. Other books see it at 36.5, 37.5, 36.5. All of them except for it looks like it's just FanDuel. Every other book prices it below this 38.5 number. And the best part about this, the screen, it's completely free to use. You can go to OddsJam.com. You can check out the screen and you can use it for completely free. And it's a really good way, like I said, to find player props for sports when there's a bunch of different games going on. So like if we want to look at player points for the NBA, you can literally check for every single game going on that day. So you can just scroll down and it has it for every single game. So it's a really easy way to find discrepancies across the board when you're looking for plays to add for DFS. So I gave some PrizePicks. I gave some underdog plays for tonight. If you're tailing these, let me know. Good luck to you guys. But I appreciate you watching and have a good one.